Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take the materials you send us, the things you're curious about, and we really try to pull out the key insights for you.
Make sense of it all quickly.
Exactly. And today, we're looking at something pretty unique. It's a collection of, well, poetic scenes, maybe narrative scenes, called Musical Story by Nawi. One of you shared this with us.
Yeah, and what's really interesting right off the bat is just the sheer range of scenarios Nawi covers here. You've got these philosophical thoughts about nature, but then also social interactions, personal beliefs.
All through this very distinct poetic lens, right?
Absolutely. So our mission, if you like, for this deep dive is to explore these different viewpoints, find the core messages hiding in these scenes, and give you a kind of condensed, but hopefully insightful grasp of the material.
Okay, let's jump in. First scene, the falling trees scream intention.
Right. Straight away, this image hits you. The trees are personified. Cutting them down isn't just cutting. It's like they're screaming.
It's powerful. And what grabbed me immediately was this sense of purpose the tree seems to have. It's not just being destroyed. It's almost hoping. May God make me a better use than trees.
Yeah, like a plea for significance, isn't it? Beyond just being wood. It wants its sacrifice, if you can call it that, to mean something more.
And thinking about that, what does that suggest about how we see the natural world? Or how Nawi sees it, maybe?
Well, it raises that question, doesn't it? Does nature itself have some kind of inherent value, maybe even a purpose we need to consider? And then the tree drops his bombshell.
Oh, yeah, this part was wild.
In fact, the reason your father to this earth was demoted eating me was your first sin.
I mean, that's a completely different take on the Garden of Eden story. Suddenly, the tree isn't just background scenery.
No, it's central. It positions itself as like the catalyst for humanity's fall. It really makes you pause and think. Is Nawi suggesting our relationship with nature, maybe exploiting it, has been flawed from the very start?
It definitely feels like that's being explored, and that ties into the tree's sort of final wish for humanity, right?
Exactly. I hope you obey God this time and return to the heaven. It links the fate of nature directly to our own spiritual path. Are they intertwined? That seems to be the implication.
Okay, moving from the forest to the boardroom. Scene 2. Investor's pitch. Straight up poet.
Yeah, quite the shift. We're in this business pitch scenario, but Nawi's approach is, well, it's not standard.
Not at all. No pie charts here. Instead, he's asking these big philosophical questions. Ask him, what can you help with, not how to pitch faster. And money is not a thing. You don't want to be whiners. Also, we are all here to help. Who can't we rely on?
It completely subverts the usual focus on profit, doesn't it? He's pushing for something else. Mutual support? Maybe. Purpose. Reliance on each other is the real foundation.
It really makes you question what actually drives or should drive these kinds of ventures. Forget the bottom line for a second.
And the reaction he gets, this sound, whoa, 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 wait, drop, ding, dong, whoa, they, Nawi. What even is that?
Right. It sounds like just raw excitement, maybe, or total confusion. But then, now he just cuts through it with, I didn't sleep good yesterday, I need coffee.
It's brilliant. That sudden shift back to the mundane, the everyday human need, sort of grounds the whole thing. Maybe the investors are just so thrown by his unique style, they react purely emotionally.
Could be. And that final line from the investor, welcome to the table, feels like they're buying into the whole package. The weirdness, the philosophy, the coffee request.
They're intrigued, at least. Okay, next scene. Beautiful women, converse poet. This one feels different again.
Yeah, much more casual, almost playful at the start, talking about stars, the sun, the moon. Have fun, let's call the star to come. It's a bit abstract.
There's a kind of flirtatious vibe, maybe, but then the tone shifts quite sharply. The beautiful woman brings in this more aggressive imagery.
Right. How about when I shot the gun and I'm aiming to the sky dumb? It definitely changes the energy. Feels a bit edgy.
It does. It adds a layer of tension, or perhaps assertiveness. And Nawi's response is quite direct about his intentions. I just want to get my girls women.
And her reply is careful, isn't it?
Right.
For now, let's just be friends. Open-ended, maybe, but cautious.
It's a neat little snapshot of how conversations can turn and how people navigate attraction and boundaries. Very quick, but tells a story.
Okay, let's look at getting caught, teaching poet. Here, Nawi runs into trouble with the police after asking about getting high.
Yeah, the mood shifts again. He's potentially in trouble, but instead of just, dealing with the situation conventionally, he launches into this poetic defense.
He argues it comes from the earth. God made it grow from the earth. He suggests it could be used positively. How about who want to use it? for thoughts to reign, like for thinking.
And he pushes back against the idea it automatically leads to bad outcomes. Doesn't make you forget where you at. He's arguing for responsible use, it seems.
And he connects it to bigger ideas, like obeying God's will over human laws. Don't obey who's against God's will, not even a mother or wife. That's pretty strong stuff.
Very strong. He's essentially making a case for personal autonomy based on his interpretation of divine principles, directly challenging the legal ban. Shouldn't ban it. We shouldn't feel ashamed.
And the most surprising part, the police officer's reaction.
Right. You can be our friends. It implies his argument, however unconventional, actually worked. It made them reconsider.
It really speaks to the potential power of just offering a different perspective, even poetically. Okay, next. Modesty. Focus poet. His girlfriend asks about covering her beauty.
And his answer here is interesting because it seems to weave together a few different threads. There's the practical side, avoiding unwanted attention, potential harm.
Yeah, who can't control the urge shouldn't look at it, and if you got harm, you can report it. That sounds like pragmatic advice.
But there's also a clear religious element. God told us to tell them cover it so no harm upon them. It's presented as a divine instruction for protection.
But it's not just about covering up, is it? He also elevates women, expresses deep respect. Without you, not even heaven we have won. And we see nothing more beautiful than a mother of humankind.
Exactly. So it's this blend. Protection, religious duty, and profound reverence. He seems to frame modesty not as compression, but as a way to honor and safeguard value. And apparently his girlfriend accepts this reasoning.
Okay, let's move to empathy. Metaphor poet. This one involves a butcher and sheep. Quite visceral.
Very. Now he sees the butcher kill one sheep in front of another, and his reaction is all about empathy. He uses these direct, powerful metaphors.
What you do if someone slay your brother. How you feel when people die in front of each other. He's really trying to make the butcher feel what the animal might be experiencing, or at least relate it to human loss.
The core message seems to be about mindfulness, even in necessary acts. Don't show an eye a harm you got to do just to live in pleasure. Consider the impact of your actions.
And he adds that spiritual layer again. Say the name of God, the merciful, for a life you treasure. Like, approach even killing with a sense of reverence.
And again, it seems to work.
Yeah.
The butcher expresses remorse, says he'll change his ways. It shows how focusing on shared feeling, on empathy, can actually change behavior.
Interesting. Next up, the way to pray. Wise poet. A friend is skeptical about prayer because some religious people are hypocrites.
Yeah, a common criticism. Nawi's response kind of sidesteps the hypocrisy argument and focuses on the individual's purpose in praying.
He talks about it as obedience to the Creator, seeking blessings, but also aligning your actions with divine norms. He cautions, but don't ask him for things against the norm.
Right. And crucially, he links prayer strongly with action in the world. It's not enough just to pray, you have to act well. We have to help each other for our lives to grow.
And that applies to everyone. We must want for each other the best for rich or poor. It's about community, mutual support, alongside the personal connection to God.
Exactly. It's a very holistic view. Faith isn't just private devotion. It includes ethical living and community responsibility. And then he frames life as a test with the ultimate reward elsewhere.
Okay, makes sense. Then we have cheaters, responsible poet. Pretty straightforward. What do you do about people who break agreements?
And now his answer is pretty blunt, too. He compares it to infidelity and basically advocates for, well, social consequences, making sure people know.
Yeah, should be wiped from who they deceived, hun, and tell who we know so no one deal with them. It's a call for accountability to protect the community, essentially. Prevent further harm.
No ambiguity there. It's about maintaining trust. Okay, now for anger moderator, gangsta poetry. This one feels intense.
Definitely. It's a confrontation. A friend speaks disrespectfully, and Nawi describes this internal battle with intense anger.
You get these really raw lines. I could have killed you. The fist break the neck, too. He's not hiding the potential for violence he feels inside.
But he deliberately chooses not to act on it. But I act cool, that's what the boss do, and the jail is not what the king choose. He holds back.
And that gangsta poetry style, as the title suggests, really heightens that feeling. It's like he's using the language of potential violence to teach a lesson about controlling violence, choosing composure over reaction.
A lesson in self-mastery, almost demonstrated through acknowledging the impulse he's overcoming. Powerful stuff. Okay, lighter topic maybe. Party. Swing song. How to party right.
Yeah, this one's more practical advice set to kind of swing rhythm in the text. He emphasizes moderation. Stop it when the buzz hit deer.
Safety first, too. Get high when safe you feel. And thinking about others. Public and children need attention.
And basic responsibility. Drive when you are not tripping. It's all pretty sensible, really. Enjoy life, but be smart about it. Don't cause harm.
And again, that little touch of gratitude at the end. Thank God for what the love done. Even fun should be appreciated, maybe.
Seems like it. Enjoyment and responsibility, hand in hand. Now, leaders. Classic song. This touches on the Queen's death and worries about the future.
Yeah, his girlfriend expresses sadness. Noe's response is quite positive, though, reflecting on the Queen's legacy.
He praises her support for things like democracy, free speech, justice. It's a sort of hopeful look back, emphasizing the strength of the nation and the people's affection for her.
It feels like an attempt to offer reassurance during a period of change, focusing on stability and positive continuity, a respectful tribute.
Okay, scene 12. Gratitude. An investor friend is in trouble losing money, maybe facing legal issues.
And Naoi's role here is very much one of comfort. It's okay, things will get better. Basic reassurance first.
But then he brings in deeper themes. Forgiveness, and this idea of ultimate judgment, resting with God, not necessarily with people or the legal system.
Those lines, if they didn't forgive you for the mistakes you've done, like you forgave who lost your money, they are in the wrong train, and God will judge what we will do, they really shift the perspective, don't they?
They do. It introduces grace, and a sense that earthly judgments aren't the final word. The overall message seems to be, stay helpful, stay grateful, even when things are tough. Trust in a bigger picture.
Okay, nearly there. Scene 13, Reliant. The girlfriend is feeling depressed about corruption, uncertainty, relatable feelings, probably.
Very relatable.
Mm-hmm.
And now he responds with almost a list of principles to rely on. Faith is central. All thanks to God. Rely on him, his blessing never end.
But it's not just passive faith. He talks about service. Who serve will be served. Understanding history. The fact is from the past.
And this forward-looking hope for justice and peace. The just with equal weight. Balance for peace to rest. It's like a grounding framework.
A kind of personal creed for staying resilient, maybe, combining faith, action, learning, and hope.
That sums it up well. It's about finding stability when the world feels unstable.
And finally, scene 14, education. Nawi tries to share research with the university, but hits a wall because he lacks formal credentials.
Yes, the principle is focused on qualifications. And Nawi's response is, well, it's pure Nawi, poetic and challenging.
He dismisses the focus on credentials, contrasting it with a kind of deeper, maybe more intuitive or divinely inspired understanding of the world.
The lines are incredibly striking. He says academics focus on trivialities, while they don't even know the shit that come from their ass, compared to profound truths. Know that hell inside the sun, and it grow a rose for you, dear, isn't the beauty why things appear.
Wow. That's quite the juxtaposition. It's a direct challenge to what constitutes real knowledge, formal education versus lived experience or spiritual insight.
Exactly. And apparently it works. His words have such an impact that the principal changes their mind and accepts the research. It's a final statement on the power of unconventional wisdom, perhaps.
Well, that was definitely a journey through Nawi's musical story. We covered a lot of ground.
We really did. From trees talking about sin, to investor pitches, relationship dynamics, run-ins with the law, thoughts on prayer, anger, partying, leadership. It's incredibly diverse.
And through it all, these recurring threads kept popping up, didn't they? Faith, empathy, personal responsibility, that search for meaning.
Absolutely. And all delivered in that unique poetic style, which, as we saw, isn't just decoration. It seems fundamental to how he communicates these complex ideas.
Yeah, the poetry seems to be the method and part of the message somehow. It makes you engage differently.
It allows for nuance, for emotional connection, in a way that just stating facts might not. It invites interpretation.
So maybe a final thought for you listening. As you think back over these scenes from Nawi's musical story, which perspectives really stood out to you? Did any of his takes on faith or responsibility or even just dealing with a bad day resonate?
Yeah, how might these ideas, presented in this unique way, connect with your own view of things, or how you interact with the world around you? Definitely some rich material to mull over.